I don't know when it started. Maybe it was the way he leaned in slightly when I spoke, as if my words held weight. Or maybe it was his laugh-easy, warm, like he belonged to a world far less complicated than mine. His name is Liam, 24. Too young to make me feel the way he does. But here I am, sitting in a meeting pretending to listen while my eyes keep drifting to him. The way his fingers tap the table absent-mindedly. The way his jaw tenses when he's concentrating. It's maddening. I'm 31, married, and a mother. And to make it worse, I'm his boss. This should be nothing. Just a passing thought, a trick of the mind. But it's not. It's a storm brewing, and I have no umbrella. It started with work. That's how we met. Liam joined my team 6 months ago, fresh-faced and eager. I liked his energy, the way he wasn't afraid to challenge ideas. We worked late together often, and in those quiet hours, when the office was dimly lit and the air was thick with exhaustion, something shifted. We started talking about things outside of work. Small things at first: movies, music, books. Then, bigger things. His dreams, my regrets. And then suddenly, I was thinking about him all the time. At first, I brushed it off as harmless admiration. He was talented, intelligent. Of course, I enjoyed working with him. But admiration doesn't make your breath catch when someone walks into the room. It doesn't make you feel like your world tilts slightly whenever they speak your name. I should have distanced myself the moment I realized what was happening. But by the time it hit me, it was already too late. I missed him when I wasn't around him. I waited for his texts, even though they were always about work. I caught my gaze lingering on his lips when he talked. And the worst part? My body betrayed me. I had never experienced this before, this level of desire. The kind that didn't even need a touch, didn't even need a word. Just a thought of him, and I'd feel heat pooling in my stomach. My own mind was the battlefield, and I was losing. Everything okay? Ethan, my husband, asks as we sit across from each other at dinner. He's cutting into his steak, oblivious to the war waging inside me. I nod too quickly. Yeah, just tired. Lying is easy. It shouldn't be, but it is. He goes back to eating, and I try to shake off the guilt that creeps up my spine. Ethan is a good man, a great man. We've been together for almost 10 years. He's steady, reliable. He loves our son. Loves me, and yet, when my phone buzzes, my pulse jumps before I even see the name. Liam, it's just a work update. It's a simple message, but I feel alive again. I'm drowning, and I don't even want to be saved. The next morning, at the office, I try to act normal, professional, detached. It lasts about 5 minutes. Liam walks in, and I swear the temperature in the room shifts. He flashes me that easy smile, and my heart betrays me again, skipping like a stone over water. "Morning, boss," he says. I roll my eyes. "Liam, you don't have to call me that every time." He grins. "Would you prefer, ma'am?" Shoot him a look, but inside, I'm unraveling. The problem isn't just the attraction. It's that he knows. Maybe he doesn't know the extent of it, but he feels it. The way I look at him, the way my voice softens when I speak to him. And I can tell by the way he holds my gaze just a little too long that he's not entirely innocent in this either. This is dangerous. And yet, I don't walk away because some part of me doesn't want to. Some part of me is already too far gone. I tell myself every morning that today will be different. Today, I won't linger when he walks into the office. Today, I won't find an excuse to be near him. Today, I will remember who I am: a wife, a mother, a boss. And yet, as I sit at my desk, flipping through emails I can't focus on, I already know it's a lie, because he's here. Liam stands in the doorway of my office, knocking lightly on the glass. Got a minute? I should tell him no. I should create distance, set boundaries. Instead, I nod, and he steps inside, closing the door behind him. Too close, too casual. Like we're something we're not. He drops into the chair across from me, sliding a report onto my desk. I need your approval before I send this over to legal. My hands move before my brain does. I take the report, scanning words I don't actually process. The air feels thick between us, charged with something unspoken. Looks good, I say, finally handing it back. He doesn't take it right away. Instead, his eyes linger on my face, searching. You sure you're okay? You seem distracted. That's one word for it. Obsessive would be more accurate. I'm fine, I lie. His gaze dips so brief, so fleeting, but I feel it. The way his eyes flicker to my mouth before he looks away. And just like that, I'm burning. He's not doing anything inappropriate. He's not touching me, not saying anything that could be taken as a step too far. But the tension, it's there, simmering, waiting. Okay, Liam says, after a beat, standing. Just checking, as if he knows exactly what he's tacked. As if he knows exactly what he's doing to me. He smirks. Just a little. Just enough. I watch him walk away. My breath caught in my throat. This is a disaster. That night, I don't go straight home after work. I can't. Instead, I sit in my car in a parking lot, hands gripping the steering wheel, forehead resting against the cool leather. What is wrong with me? I have everything I ever wanted. A beautiful home. A loyal husband. Child who looks at me like I hung the moon. And yet, I am coming undone over a man who isn't mine. I don't recognize myself. I've never been the kind of woman who strayed, who entertained dangerous thoughts. I've judged women who did. Thought I was better than that. Turns out, I'm not. Turns out, just as weak as anyone else. Ethan is already home when I walk through the door. Our son Noah is sitting on the floor building a tower with his blocks. He looks up and grins. Mommy. I scoop him up, holding him too tight. Ethan watches me from the kitchen, beer in hand. You okay? It's third time someone's asked. Me? That today. Third time I've lied. Yeah, I say, forcing a smile. Just tired. He nods, turning back to the game playing on the TV. And just like that, I realize how easy this has become. How effortless it is to live one life while craving another. How many women have stood in this exact spot, feeling the exact same guilt, and done the exact same thing? Maybe the answer is all of them. The next week, I try to limit my interactions. With Liam, I avoid unnecessary conversations. I stop lingering in the break room. I keep my emails curt and professional, and for a while. It works until Friday. The office is buzzing with weekend energy, people wrapping up early, making plans. I keep my head down, drowning in paperwork when a message pops up on my screen. Liam, hey, got a sec? I hesitate. I should ignore it. But I don't, me. Sure, seconds later, he's standing at my desk, looking down at me. Everyone's heading out soon. You coming for drinks? I blink. I don't think so. He tilts his head. You always go. He's right. I do. Office happy hours are my thing, a chance to unwind, to be more than just the boss. But tonight, it feels like a trap. Not feeling great? I lie. Liam studies me for a long moment. Then, with a nod, he steps back. All right. See you Monday. Then, I should feel relieved as I watch him walk away. But I don't. I feel disappointed. And I hate myself for it. At home, Ethan is waiting. I'm barely through the door before he says, "We need to talk." My stomach clenches. What's wrong? He gestures to the couch. Sit. I do. Suddenly hyper-aware of my heartbeat. He sighs. Running a hand through his hair. You've been different lately. Panic floods my veins, but I keep my expression neutral. Different how? Ethan exhales slowly. I don't know. Distant, distracted. Just like that, I hear Liam's voice in my head. You seem attracted. I force a laugh, shaking my head. I've just been stressed with work. That's all. Ethan studies me, searching for cracks, and I let him look because he won't find them. Not yet. I spend the entire weekend with Ethan and Noah, hoping that drowning myself in family life will silence the storm inside me. We go to the park, we eat ice cream, we laugh. I hold Ethan's hand longer than usual, kiss him with more intention. I do everything a good wife should do, and yet, in the quiet moments, when Ethan is dozing off beside me on the couch, or when Noah is playing with his trucks, I catch myself thinking about Liam. I remember the way his lips quirk when he's amused. The way his voice drops when he's being serious. The way he smirked at me in my office, as if he knew. I shake my head, frustrated. This isn't real. This is just a fantasy. A dangerous mirage in the desert of my routine life. And I am not the kind of woman who loses herself in illusions, right? Monday morning, I'm determined. No more lingering looks. No more unnecessary interactions. I am going to be professional, detached. The way I should have been from the beginning, and for the first few hours, it works. I bury myself in emails. I delegate projects. I avoid his desk. Then, just before lunch, my phone buzzes. Liam, meeting room. My stomach clenches. I shouldn't go. There's no reason to go. And yet, I stand. The meeting room is empty when I walk in. A second. Later, the door clicks shut behind me. Liam leans against the table, arms crossed. So, are we going to talk about it? My throat goes dry. Talk about what his gaze holds mine, unwavering. You've been avoiding me? I exhale slowly, keeping my voice even. We work together, Liam. There's nothing to talk about. He studies me, his expression unreadable. Then, he takes a step closer. My breath catches. He's too close. The air between us feels electric, charged with something dangerous. You sure about that? He murmurs. I swallow hard. Yes. Liam tilts his head slightly, as if trying to read between the lines of my carefully constructed words. Then, just when I think he's going to push, he nods. All right? He steps back, giving me space, and my pulse begins to settle. Good, I say, forcing a smile. Glad we're on the same page. I turn to leave, but before I can reach the door, he says, for the record, you don't have to avoid me. I pause, my fingers resting on the doorknob, and then, without looking back, I walk out. That night, I can't sleep. I lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, Ethan's steady breathing beside me. I should feel relief that Liam backed off, that he didn't push, but instead, all I feel is disappointment. Like I wanted him to push. Like I wanted something to happen. The realization terrifies me, because now, I keep lying to myself. This isn't just a passing attraction. This is something else. Something that could ruin me. Tuesday is a blur. I keep my head down, pushing through meetings, emails, spreadsheets. But by Wednesday, something shifts. Liam is laughing at something near the coffee machine. And I look up instinctively. The woman he's laughing with is Ava, one of our interns. Young, beautiful, vibrant, and when she touches his arm, something ugly twists inside me. Jealousy, it's single quotes, irrational. But I hate it. I hate how easily he laughs with her. How effortlessly she makes him smile. I hate that I even care. That night, I pour myself a glass of wine and sit on the couch, scrolling mindlessly through my phone. Ethan is in the shower, and Noah is asleep. My phone vibrates. A message. Liam. Busy. I stare at the screen, my heart racing. I shouldn't respond. I should put the phone down, finish my wine, and go to bed. Instead, I type back me. No. A moment later, the 3 little dots appear. Then Liam, come out for a drink. Just us. My breath catches. This is it. The line. The one I swore I wouldn't cross. I stare at the message for what feels like an eternity. Then, before I can talk myself out of it, I type 2 words. Me. Where? I tell myself I won't go. I tell myself I'll type out some excuse, too tired, too busy. Something believable. Instead, I'm standing in front of my closet, heart pounding, staring at my reflection in the mirror. What am I doing? I hear Ethan's voice in my head. You've been different lately. I close my eyes, inhaling sharply. If I go, I know what it means. This isn't just a drink. It's a step toward something I won't be able to take back. But some part of me, the part I don't recognize anymore, wants. That 15 minutes later, I slide into a booth at a dimly lit bar. Liam is already there. A whiskey in front of him. He looks up, his lips curling into a slow, knowing smile. Didn't think you'd come. Neither did I admit. He signals the bartender. And a moment later, a glass of red wine is placed in front of me. He remembered. We sit in silence for a moment. The hum of conversation around us, making this feel strangely normal. This is something we do all the time. Like we're something. I take a sip of wine, the warmth settling in my chest. So, why did you invite me out? Liam tilts his head slightly. Why did you say yes? I exhale sharply, shaking my head. Don't do that. Do what? Make this more than it is. Liam leans forward, resting his elbows on the table. And what exactly is this? I hesitate. A drink between colleagues. He smiles, but there's something unreadable in his eyes. Right? Just a drink. I try to ignore the way his gaze lingers on me, the way it makes my pulse race. I should leave. Right now. Before I do something stupid instead. I take another sip of wine. An hour passes. Maybe more. The conversation flows effortlessly, like it always does. But there's a difference tonight. An undercurrent of something we've never acknowledged, out. Loud, the way his fingers graze mine when he reaches for his glass. The way his knee presses against mine under the table, neither of us moving away by the time we step outside. The air feels charged, like we're standing on the edge of something. Inevitable. Liam shoves his hands into his pockets, rocking back on his heels. So, do I get to walk you to your car? I should say no. Instead, I nod. We walk in silence, the tension between us thick enough to drown in. When we reach my car, I fumble for my keys, my hands unsteady. I can feel him behind me, close enough that I can feel his breath against my skin. I turn slowly, my heart hammering. Liam, we can't. He steps closer, so close our bodies almost touch. I know. His voice is low, rough, filled with something unspoken. I should move, should get in my car and drive home, but I don't. Because for the first time in years, I feel alive, and then his fingers brush my cheek. Featherlight. I don't stop him. I don't want to stop him. And before I can think I can stop myself, my hands are on his chest. Gripping the fabric of his jacket, pulling him closer. For one perfect, terrible moment. We are breathless, inches apart, 1 second away from ruin. And then my phone rings. The sound is sharp, shattering the moment, like glass hitting pavement. I jerk back, reality slamming into me like a freight train. Liam steps away. Hands clenched at his sides. I fumble for my phone, my heart racing. Ethan guilt slams into me so hard. I feel sick. I press the phone to my ear, my voice shaky. Hey, where are you? Ethan's voice is soft, but there's something underneath it. Something I don't want to analyze. I swallow hard. I ran into an old friend, just catching up. A beat of silence. Then, okay. Just don't be too late. My stomach twists. I won't. I hang up, the weight of my own lies crushing me. Liam exhales, running a hand through his hair. You should go. I nod, my throat tight. Yeah. I get in my car, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turn white. I don't look at him as I pull away, because if I do, I might turn back. That night, as I slip into bed beside Ethan, I stare at the ceiling, my body still thrumming. From the almost moment in the parking lot. I didn't cross the line, but I got so close I could see the other side. And the worst part? I'm not sure I'll be able to stop myself next time, because I know, deep down, there's going to be a next time. The next morning, I wake up with a headache that has nothing to do with the wine. Ethan is already up, standing by the closet, buttoning his shirt. His back is to me, but I can tell something is off. He hasn't kissed me good morning, hasn't even looked at me. Guilt coils in my stomach like a venomous snake. I sit up, rubbing my temples. Morning, he turns, offering me a small, forced smile. Hey, you got in late last night. I nod, my throat tight. Yeah, sorry, I lost track of time. Ethan watches me carefully, like he's waiting for me to say more. I don't, because if I open my mouth, I might confess everything. After a long pause, he sighs. I was thinking, maybe we should take a weekend away. Just us. We haven't had time together in a while. My chest tightens. Ethan is trying. He's reaching for me, sensing the distance even if he doesn't understand why it's there. I should say yes. I should grab onto this marriage and hold it together with both hands. But the first thought that crosses my mind isn't that sounds nice. It's what about Liam? And just like that, I know. I am already too far gone at work. I try to act normal, like last night never happened. Like I wasn't 1 second away from ruining everything. I avoid Liam. No eye contact. No small talk. Nothing. I tell myself it's for the best. That if I can just create enough space, this thing between us will fade. But then lunchtime rolls around. And my phone buzzes. Liam, parking lot. Now my pulse spikes. I should ignore it instead. I grab my coat and walk outside. He's leaning against his car, arms crossed, his expression unreadable. I stop a few feet away, hugging my arms around myself. What are you doing? Liam exhales sharply. Are you seriously going to pretend last night didn't happen? I glance around, paranoid that someone will see us. Nothing happened. He lets out a dry laugh, shaking his head. Right. Because almost kissing you in a parking lot is nothing? I close my eyes. Liam, he steps closer. Just be honest with me. Do you want this? Yes or no? My breath catches. The smart thing to do would be to say no, to walk away. But I can't lie, not to him, not to myself. Yes, I whisper. Liam exhales, his jaw tightening. He runs a hand through his hair, looking like he's battling himself. Then what are we doing? I swallow hard. Trying not to make a mistake, he studies me for a long moment, then nods. Okay. Relief floods me. But before I can say anything, he adds, but if you change your mind, you know where to find me. And then, just like that, he's gone. That night, I can't focus on anything. Ethan is sitting beside me on the couch, watching a movie, but I can't even remember what it's about. Because all I can think about is Liam. The way his voice sounded in the parking lot. The way he waited for me to change my mind, and how badly I wanted to. I glance at Ethan, his face illuminated by the glow of the TV. He deserves better than this. I don't even recognize myself anymore. But instead of pulling closer to my husband, instead of making a choice that would save us, I do the worst thing possible. I pick up my phone and I text Liam me. I can't stop thinking about you. The second I hit send, my heart pounds so loudly I can hear it in my ears. A minute passes, then another. Then my phone buzzes. Liam, then stop fighting it. I stare at the screen, my hands shaking. Because I know, deep down, this is the moment. The moment I either turn back or let myself fall. I stare at my phone for what feels like forever. Then stop fighting it. It's an invitation, a challenge, a test, and I already know how I'm going to answer. I should delete the message. I should throw my phone across the room and crawl into Ethan's arms. Let him ground me, remind me of the life I've spent a decade building. But I don't sing. Instead, my fingers move on their own. Me? Where are you? Seconds later, my phone buzzes again. Liam, my place. I inhale sharply, my pulse hammering. This is it. It's a point of no return. I glance at Ethan. He's still watching the movie, completely unaware that his wife is one text away from making the worst mistake of her life. And for a split second, I almost stop myself. Almost, but then I hear Liam's voice in my head. Then stop fighting it. And I realize I don't want to fight it anymore. I tell Ethan I'm going out for a drive to clear my head. He barely looks up from the screen. You okay? No, not even close. I force a smile. Yeah, just need some air. He nods, distracted, and just like that, I walk out the door. The entire drive to Liam's apartment. My hands shake against the steering wheel. Every stoplight is a chance to turn back. Every turn is a moment to make a different choice. But I keep going. Because deep down, some part of me knows I was always going to end up here. Liam opens the door. Before I can even knock, he looks at me for a long moment. His expression unreadable. Then, without a word, he steps aside, letting me in. I walk past him, my heart slamming against my ribs, my body already on fire. The door clicks shut behind me, and suddenly, the air between us feels thick. Dangerous, I turn slowly to face him. I shouldn't be here. Liam takes a step closer. But you are? I swallow hard. This is a mistake. His gaze flickers to my lips. Then why haven't you left? I don't have an answer. Because the truth is, I don't want to leave. And when Liam reaches for me, I don't stop him. His hands skim my arms, trailing fire in their wake. His breath is warm against my skin, his touch softer than I expected. My mind screams at me to pull away, to run, to think about Ethan, Noah, but my body. My body is starving, and the second Liam's lips brush against mine, I realize I was always going to fall. I don't go home that night when I finally check my phone. There are 3 missed calls from Ethan, a single text. Where are you? I stare at the screen, my stomach twisting because I don't have an answer. Because I don't even know where I am anymore. I am standing in the wreckage of my choices, staring at the life I just set on fire. And the worst part, I'm not even sorry. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought, or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments side. Love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.